tistami vaikunte nacha yoginam hrudayeshu. I do not stay in Vaikuntha Loka or within the heart of the yogis. Tatra tistami narada yatra gayanti madbhakta. I stay there where my devotees are chanting about me, my glories. This is the process. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 22 and Texts 26 and 27. Amantriya tam munivaram Amantriya tam munivaram Anujñātaha sahanugaha Anujñātaha sahanugaha Prataste ratam aruhya Prataste ratam aruhya Sabharyaha Swapuram nupaha Sabharyaha Swapuram nupaha Ubayoho Rushi Kulyayah Ubayor Rushi Kulyayah Sarasvatyah Surodasoho Sarasvatyah Surodasoho Rushinam Upashantanam Pashyan Ashrama Sampadaha Amantriya tam munivaram Anujñātaha sahanugaha Prataste ratamaruhya Sabharya swapuram nupaha Ubayor rushikulyayah Sarasvatyah surodasoh Rushinam upashantanam Pashyan ashrama sampadaha. Amantrya, taking permission to go. Tam, from him. Kardama, Munivaram, from the best of the sages. Anujñātaha, being permitted to leave. Saha Anugaha, along with his retinue. Prataste, started for. Ratam Aruhya, mounting his chariot. Sabharyaya, along with his wife. Swapuram, his own capital. Nrupaha, the emperor. Ubayoho, on both. Rushikulyaya, agreeable to the sages. Sarasvatyaha, up the river Sarasvatī. Surodasoho, the charming banks. Rushinam, of the great sages. Upashantanam, tranquil. Pashyan, seeing. Ashrama Sampadaha, the prosperity of the beautiful hermitages. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: after asking and obtaining the great sage's permission to leave, the monarch mounted his chariot with his wife and started for his capital, followed by his retinue. Along the way, he saw the prosperity of the tranquil seers' beautiful hermitages and both the charming banks of the river Sarasvatī, the river so agreeable to saintly persons. Please repeat after asking and obtaining the great sage's permission to leave, the monarch mounted his chariot with his wife and started for his capital, followed by his retinue. Along the way, he saw the prosperity of the tranquil seers, beautiful hermitages, and both the charming banks of the Sarasvatī, the river so agreeable to saintly persons. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As cities are constructed in the modern age with great engineering and architectural craftsmanship, so in days gone by, there were neighborhoods called Rishikulas, where great saintly persons are resided. In India, there are still many magnificent places for spiritual understanding. There are many rishis and saintly persons living in nice cottages on the banks of the Ganges and Yamuna for purposes of spiritual cultivation. While passing through the Rishikulas, the king and his party were very much satisfied with the beauty of the cottages and hermitages. It is stated here, Pashyan Ashrama Sampada. The great sages had no skyscrapers, but the hermitages were so beautiful that the king was very much pleased at the sight. The Sanstha Bhaktivedanta Purport. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here Swayambhu Manu has handed over his daughter her husband Kardama Muni, and then now he is returning to his Swapuram, his own palace. So Amantriyatam Munivaram, the best of the sages, Kardama Muni, so he took permission from him, and then along with his wife Sabharya, Ratamaruhya got on to the chariot, and then Swapuram Nupaha is started back. Prataste means he started for going back to his Swapuram, his palace. And then Ubayor, on both the sides of both banks of the river Sarasvatī, Sarasvatya, Surodaso, banks of Sarasvatī. So he saw Rushikulya, series of hermitages, nice cottages, like we have Yajnashala here, much better than this. So that is Rushikulya. Rushinam Upashantanam. They could see peaceful sages. Many sages are living there. They are all very peaceful. Pashyan Ashrama Sampada. By looking at this prosperity of these sages, it's a different kind of a prosperity. Even Manu is very pleased and is attracted by such opulence. So Prabhupada is explaining about this Rushikula. So these great sages, they generally take shelter of a pious river like Sarasvatī, transcendental rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, and they execute the spiritual activities in order to gain spiritual understanding. One needs a peaceful life in order to gain some spiritual understanding. So these sages, they used to settle down on the banks of such wonderful rivers like Sarasvatī. Those days the waters used to be so pure that you can directly drink from the river. They used to just go dip your whatever that pot is and get your water. Whenever there is a deity worship, they immediately rush and get one pot of water and offer fresh water to the deity. And then there is some cooking, they just go there and get some water. They have very nice system of this water management. They don't mix up all the wastages into such pious crystal clear waters. They protect the rivers because they know their personalities. Sarasvatī is a personality, and they know it's all coming from Krishna. So they used to take care of all this very nicely. Taking care of the waters, taking care of the banks, it is all considered very pious activity. So he saw Ubhayor Rushikulyanam. So series of hermitages are there. So a fresh air, open spaces, banks of a river, these are all, they're therapeutic on the mind. Mind becomes congested if we live in congested places. They will say in our apartment tower, it's a 60 floors, and then everybody will say, oh, very nice, this is the tallest tower in the world or in the city or in Telangana. Everybody is excited. And then there are sophisticated lifts going up and down. Everything looks very nice. But they are known as pinjar holes, pigeon holes. These pigeons, they live in small holes. They're compared to pincher holes and congested. In one building you have thousands of families and living together, and everywhere congestion. And then when we come out onto the road, cars, their exhaust, one exhaust is on the other car, other car's exhaust is in the other car, and then it's all congested life. When people day in and day out live in this congested life, first symptom is they go mad. Everybody will be churuburu, not peaceful in the mind. Recently there is a news that the mental stress is increasing in the city. There is one NGO, it is some mental wellness NGO or something. Every month it gets more than 3,000, 4,000 calls for help. And in the last, I think last 1 year or so, around 30, 40,000 people got some kind of a treatment. And in that, the majority of the calls are coming from a certain age bracket. And what is that? Between 18 to 40. This is the bracket. And the maximum calls are coming from this thing. And so city life is like that, congested, and then very petty-minded. Our minds are created in such a way that it requires open spaces. It requires sort of fresh air. And if you are in a polluted city, and even breathing is equal to some 2-3 packs of cigarettes, that's a kind of pollution. It's not easy. People will go crazy. So Bhagavatam, 2nd canto says, of course according to Ayurveda, this open spaces and fresh air are compulsory. Fresh food, fresh air, and fresh, all those things are compulsory. Many people will become very charmed by our temple as soon as they come here, because there is some fresh air, some open space. You can see some cows, you can see some gardens, a mini Vaikuntha they can experience here. Because in the city, even many of the temples are very congested. And there is unfortunately there is lack of cleanliness also. But when they come to such big campuses, big temples with such nice facilities, immediately their mind expands. Some peace will come. That's the beginning of their peace in this temple. So these are all required. That's why from the city, many people go away in the weekend to rural, outskirts of the city. They go to some villages, or they go to some resorts and all those things. This is the life. So if hermitages and this banks of Sarasvatī, fresh air, fresh food, fresh water, actually devotees will get attracted. Like a Swayambhu Manu is a great devotee, is very attracted. He is very pleased to see Pashyan, that means seeing ashrama sampada. He could see the opulence in this. Seeing the opulence in a big tower, skyscraper, that is easy. But to see there is an ashrama sampada, that is not, that requires sattvic transcendental vision. So that's why here the Swayambhu Manu could see all this. And he is very happy to see. Rishinam Upashantanam. So Swayambhu Manu, he is happy with the way he is received and the way the whole thing happened, and so he is happily returning and is appreciating the ashrama sampradaya. So this is the divine quality of Swayambhu Manu. So, even the glories of Manu are described in Bhagavatam. Mahapurana means it will have descriptions about Manus also. Then only it is considered Mahapurana. So, here we can see Manu's behavior. Whereas, when Kartavirya Arjuna, when he saw Ashrama Sampada, what is his response? He was also a big emperor and a very powerful king. It is said that he got some 1,000 hands by the blessings of Lord Dattatreya. And so he became very powerful. So one day he went to enjoy in Narmada river, and then his many women are there along with him. With he and his the woman consort. So he enjoying in the river, and then at one point of time he blocks the river like this with all his hands. So the river starts building up behind. So it is flowing in the reverse direction, and somewhere in the some part of the river bank, Ravana is also set up his camp and he is there. And suddenly he saw river is coming back, and then it's all getting flooded, and his camp is getting flooded. So immediately Ravana becomes very angry, and then he comes to know that it is because of Kartavirya Arjuna. So he comes and challenges Kartavirya Arjuna that why did you do this? Bhagavatam explains that Kartavirya Arjuna, he captured Ravana like one captures a monkey, a small monkey. He captured Ravana and he arrested him. So imagine what is the power of Kartavirya. Ravana, the big villain of Ramayana, he captured him like a monkey and then arrested him and then put him in the jail. So this is the kind of power that he had. And then one day, along with his ministers, retinue, here the word that is used, a king is never alone. He will have a big retinue. So many rathas, so many elephants, and so many of these things, they always accompany the king. So Kartavirya along with his retinue, one day he visits the ashrama of Jamadagni. So Jamadagni, being a perfect Brahmana, he knows how to receive a king. Although he is a demoniac king, but nonetheless, for the time being, he is in that position. So he took care of him. He extended such a nice hospitality. For all of them, he provided good accommodation, good food, fantastic arrangements. Kartavirya surprised. How is it that a sage who is here in the corner of the world, in some forest, in small hermitage, is able to take care of thousands and thousands of my members of the retinue? Surprised. And he also saw how he got so many nice, wonderful facilities. Immediately, they wanted to know what is the source of all this. Then they found that Jamadagni has one Kamadhenu, a desire cow. Anything you want, it will supply. So immediately Kartavirya became very displeased. He and his retinue, his ministers, everybody got displeased. Why? How can somebody, one little sage in a forest, is much better than me and my opulence that is available with me? So they became envious. As soon as there is envy, then pleasure goes. We will not be pleased by seeing somebody else's property. Like here, ashrama sampada. As soon as he saw that the sampada, the wealth of the Jamadagni is so high, much better than him, so immediately he became very envious. And not only envious, he in fact wanted to take away the Kamadhenu, and he orders his soldiers to take away the Kamadhenu to his capital. So that's how the whole episode. Jamadagni's son is Parashuram. He comes to know about what had happened, and then he kills Kartavirya Arjuna. And not only Kartavirya Arjuna, he kills and cleanses the world of all such demoniac kings 21 times by killing all the kings of the, such nature. So here, but we see Swayambhu Manu is not like that. He is very happy, ashrama sampada, by looking at the wealth of the sage. So the sampadas, this is ashrama means it's a transcendental. Spiritual perfection is the goal. Krishna consciousness is the goal. Then only it is called ashrama. So here such opulence is recognized. But in this age, modern age, opulence means a big skyscraper, a big tower. And this is an opulence in passion and ignorance. This is an opulence of that nature, of that quality. So if open spaces are so nice, the banks of a river are so nice, and fresh air, fresh food, so wonderful for practicing Krishna consciousness, we can chant our rounds and everything nicely. Why is it that we are asked to open centers in the middle of the city? We should all nicely go to some banks of river and put some small hermitages on both the sides. And then we can have our, all the fresh food is grown nearby, cows are there, they're also like Kamadhenus, giving abundant milk. So what is the problem? Why we have to take all this big trouble of opening big centers in the middle of the city? When somebody asked Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvatī Thakur, where do you want us to open the centers? Can we open on the banks of some Yamuna or Ganga? He said, no. You open the centers in the most congested city of the world. He said, first open in London. London was the congested city those days. He said, first open a student hostel in a congested city. This is Bhaktisiddhanta is telling in 1920s. So this is the vision of an Acharya. Prabhupada also said, yes, you should have these centers in the most congested parts of the city, where thickly populated, so many jivas are there, so many people are there. There you should open. Why? Why is it that? Because our goal is not our own perfection. Somehow, I got this information about Krishna consciousness, so let me perfect my life. Silently I'll go away and then meditate and then I'll do my own things. I'll get perfection. No. We may go to the banks of such nice wonderful rivers, clean water, fresh air, everything, but still we will not be able to practice KC because all of us are in the modes of ignorance and passion. Environment may be very sattvic, very tranquil, divine. 1 or 2 days you will enjoy. Third day onwards, you have those passions, you have those ignorances. Then what will you do? You cannot give shape to any of those, your passions and ignorances. There what is available, some fresh water is there, what will you do? But my mind is saying, sell water, make packaged water and sell. This is, ignorance and passion. If you combine these two, this is Vaishya mentality. You say, pack this water and you can sell. Do this, do that, do this. So what will you do? Simply sitting and then I want to chant throughout the day and then everything is nice around me and this is the best life. No, it will not work. So that's why Prabhupada warned against this so-called tranquil and isolated, a lonely practice of Krishna consciousness. Rather, the acharyas have advised that you should work hard, run around, Burn your tendencies. If you want to sell a lot of things, okay, distribute books. Or do something for the Lord. You have such certain energy. There is a passion. There is ignorance to run around. Okay, do it, but for Krishna. There is a tendency to build something. Okay, build big temples for the Lord. So this temple project is one is to purify our tendencies, and the second is it is a greatest preaching tool. The people, although they are so much living in these congested spaces and suffering, but they are so attached to this life. The city life is very attractive because all facilities for sense gratification are available. At least that's how they think. And so, because of their passionate and tamasic tendencies, they feel attracted to such facilities that exist in this city. And they don't like to come out. Okay, once in a while if they're harassed, they come out. But that's only to rejuvenate and come back to their routine life during the week. Prabhupada calls this as Tyaga and Bhoga cycle. There is a mind goes through this Tyaga and Bhoga cycle. They're always on Bhoga, enjoy. Weekend, they work so hard during the weekday, and then weekend they think, now let me take a break. Tyaga. All the city, it's all not. They'll immediately go away to some rural outskirts, some resorts. After 2-3 days, again they'll say, no. Again they'll come back to the city. Mind goes through these cycles, Tyaga and Bhoga. And as long as these cycles are there, they'll form bad habits. All bad habits have these cycles, Tyaga, Bhoga. Habit is like a pendulum. From one extreme to another extreme it goes like a pendulum. First we get attracted, I want to do this, After that is done, then again, no, I don't want. There is a Tyaga. You go, so this pendulum of Bhoga and Tyaga, which binds the Jiva in the form of these habits. Whereas devotees are not, they don't go by these mental flickerings. That is not the platform of our action. Devotees, they don't go by the tendencies of the mind, this Bhoga Tyaga cycle. They go by Guru's instruction. My spiritual master has told me. My authorities have told me, so I have to do it. Whether I understand intellectually or I don't understand, I have to implement. First of all, if you want to, modern mind is like that. Everything we want to understand. Why? This is the question will be there. Why? Okay, you can try to understand, but if you don't understand, just simply follow. Nicely execute the orders and the that is Sattvic life. At least Sattva means he does his service as a matter of duty. As a matter of duty. Without expecting anything in return. Karyam karma karoti yaha. He executes his duty. Anashrita karma phalam. Without expecting any phala, he simply executes it. This is Sattva. Krishna consciousness means while doing Sattva, you will also have the feeling that this is for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. Guru and Krishna, see, we have to offer our services in Sattva to Guru and Krishna. Not that you do some disco dance and say, now I am offering to Krishna. No. Even our services have to be in Sattva. We want to offer best food. Food in the Sattva, drinks in Sattva, everything is in first class, first quality. So similarly, our work also, our service also should be in first quality. that means he should not have other lower mix, lower quality mix, lower motivations. One should at least come to the platform that yes, this is the order of my spiritual master, our authority, so I have to execute this and I should do it nicely, without any expectation. But a devotee goes one step forward and then thinks, no, this is very pleasing to Guru and Krishna, so let me do it nicely. This is for Guru, this is for Krishna, so I should do it nicely. This is the inspiration. So he automatically does it very nicely. That means Satuguna is included. If somebody is inspired properly by reading Bhagavatam, by hearing all these things, he executes his services nicely. Already first class quality is there. Satuguna is there. And then with nice feelings, he offers to Krishna. With good consciousness, with Krishna consciousness, he executes his services. Execution of the service should be with proper consciousness, and that should be Krishna conscious. What is this consciousness means? The background. The background, there is a background behind every action. So a devotee tries to keep Krishna in the background. This is for Krishna. This is Krishna's service. This is for Guru. This is Guru's mission. Like that. He prepares his mind and then he gets into the service. While doing the service also, he tries to remind himself this is Krishna's service. And then he goes on executing his services nicely. While doing, whenever he gets time, he chants, he sings, and then he again remembers this is Krishna's service. This is Krishna's prasadam, Radha Govinda's prasadam. One has to link up to Krishna. Our mind tries to disconnect from Krishna. That disconnection is Maya. But if you can connect it to Krishna, then it becomes transcendental experience. Of course, Krishna's service, whether we understand or not, it is fire. As you go on doing, we become purified. The result of the purification is that he attends sadhana nicely. And then he completes his 16 rounds daily. And he chants the holy names distinctly. Every mantra has 16 words. So he chants the full mantra. He doesn't swallow up anything. These are all the symptoms of advancement. For our level, these symptoms we can easily see. So, on the Guru's order, I am attending my sadhana, let me do it nicely, because he will be pleased. So this is the mood with which one has to come into the temple hall. Now Mangalarati, now Darshanarati, a devotee is preparing himself. Not that, one more arati. One more plate wash karna hai. See, both the things exist. Just your own internal environment, that is the difference. That internal environment, that consciousness, if it is Krishna conscious, then you will enjoy. Otherwise it will become a burden. Krishna service. So like that, so this is, actually this is ashrama sampada. Golden Temple is an ashrama sampada. And there are some people who eyed on this sampada also. It's not that in Kali Yuga everything will be. Ashrama sampada is also very attractive. Particularly this ashrama sampada is very attractive because the rates have gone up. Those sages are having hermitages on the banks of a river, and Prabhupada's mercy, we are living in a palace. This is a palace ashram. Radha Govind's palace, Radha Govinda's Golden Temple. So this is the So we are interested in preaching. Devotees should be very clear. We want to be there where there is a preaching opportunity. If it is most congested, that is the most suitable. That's where we will put our first preaching program. See, we should know. Everybody will get confused. Actually, when this fighting is going on during the construction time, some people asked us, Swamijis, you are all Swamijis, no? You have renounced everything. You have no attachment for any of the lands and the properties and all those things. Why are you fighting for this property? And all the sages, they like to live in the forest and all that. I'll give you much bigger land in some nearby forest. Why don't you go? Why don't you set up your ashram there? Why are you asking for the same place? Everything, whole problem will be solved, Swamiji. Nobody will disturb you. I'll give you 50 acres there, 60 acres. Nicely you do everything there. Why you want this? And then they cannot understand our thinking. The sages and the saintly person and Swamijis means the picture that they get is what the picture that Swayambhu Manu saw today. That's the picture they get it. So, but we are different. Yes, we are sadhus. Prabhupada has given that saintliness. Even that also doesn't belong to us. What are we? Even that saintliness and that sadhuness is also bestowed upon us. Because that is one of the opulences of the Lord. It has been bestowed upon us. So we should know that our saintliness or our, if some people are calling you sadhu or guru or whatever, you should not think, oh yeah, I am. No, it's you should know it is borrowed. I have borrowed it from my Guru and Krishna. They are the original source and I have borrowed it from them. We should not feel unduly proud about our preaching skills, and some people become devotees, then think that yes, now I have something. You should know that saintliness, that whatever skill is been given to you for utilization, you utilize it to bring the souls to Krishna, Krishna's lotus feet, under the shelter of Guru. That much. Don't think that, okay, this whatever now I have in my hand, that is mine. So it is me. We have done all these things. No. One has to be very careful and see the source of all our power, all our prestige and name and fame. If we don't recognize, then punar mushiko bhava. Again, we'll go back to mushika, punar mushiko bhava. So one has to be very careful not to become proud of any of our successes. Success will come. Be thankful to Krishna. My Lord, you are using me. This is your given. Any result, that is Krishna's mercy. So, your mercy, and then I got an opportunity to serve. Let me serve more and more. Not that already so much मैंने कर दिया, अभी बैठो, रूम में बैठो, कुछ ये देखो वो देखो. No mobile is there. Let us see any some political speeches are nicely coming up. Already so many things are happening. ये सब देखो. Mind is like that. It will always create illusions that, oh, you have done so much service. In fact, you are so tired. So tired. Outside people I see, they sometimes when they come back, they say, now I need a big massage for my entire body. So tired. And if you see his activity, nothing, just probably travel a little bit here and there. So ashrama life means different. Ashrama life, the devotees, they want to work hard. They never think that, okay, I have already done so much. They think, what did I do? Let me improve my hard work tomorrow. Let me do something little better than yesterday. This is the mood of a devotee. Because I have very limited time, I do not know how much time I have, better let me do something more today. Why should I waste? If you have a comfortable life as on today, thankful, do it. Tomorrow you may not have. So when we have some tranquil life, better utilize it for Krishna. Nicely do as much as possible. And then when the time comes when you will not be able to do anything, at that time actually probably you will be able to remember Krishna because you have done such nice practice. Then we can retire and then we can. But for a devotee, Vaishnava, as long as he is healthy, he is able to move his hands and legs, he doesn't want to retire. There is no retirement. We want to fight. And while fighting, remembering Krishna, we want to die. This should be the devotee's mood, not that tranquil, peaceful life, or somebody else will do. Krishna will do what is there. Prabhu is also saying Krishna, Guru and Krishna, they are only doing, so they will do. मैं क्या करना है? Then comes Maya, knocks the door. Okay, looks like you have no work. I have a lot of work for you. Bahirmukha, as soon as we become relaxed in Krishna, then Maya will come and capture us. So we should never fall for such concepts that I am doing and then it's all my capacity and this and that. No. If something is given to me, I'll use it for Krishna's service. And then if something is, result is coming, I thank the Lord. And then I want to be instrument for much bigger services and responsibilities. I want to work hard. I don't want to relax. Because I don't know what is coming up in my life. Better I take advantage of the peaceful time that is available to me. This is the mode. Any questions? Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.